So our definition of cloud is really, it's a delivery model. It's a way in which customers can consume resources in which they don't have to procure the capital, they can buy what they need, and they can turn it down, and they can scale to zero. So it's really about a delivery model, nothing more, nothing less. It's not about the infrastructure. You can take any product and make it like cloud-like. I would say the vision for the cloud is we really are going to get to a tipping point at some time where the cloud is mainstream. Cloud first. It's the way in which applications will be deployed in the future, that will be the default method. We're not there yet. We're in very early stages right now. The companies that are moving to cloud generally are companies that have traditionally outsourced in the past. And at some point in time, the economics will make sense in which customers will first look to the cloud to deploy applications. Definitely, the business case is there yet, and it depends upon the application. You know, we get compared a lot to other cloud providers in the marketplace, and customers or even different folks in the industry will say, you're more expensive, you're less expensive than this certain cloud provider. And my response will be, it really depends upon the application and what you're doing and what services are you trying to get out of the service provider, because then you'll get a true apples to apples on whether or not it's comparable or not. So how we've seen cloud adoption is through the multinational corporations, the MNCs, and also through certain verticals, consumer packaged goods, for example. Globally, we've seen high uptake. And then we've seen with our customers that are already customers of ours, adopting the cloud or at least testing it out, some form of an application. But we see the multinationals using cloud as a way to gain access to certain markets. So for example, a customer in Australia could gain access to infrastructure in Amsterdam without having to rent data center space, hire someone to rack and stack servers, build the servers. They can go to a web portal and turn up a server in Amsterdam that's just for them. So I think from a cloud perspective, the customers are going to drive what the service providers will do. And our customers are very comfortable with the platforms that we offer today. Our platform is based upon HP technology with Cisco, VMware, Microsoft, Red Hat, 3PAR storage. So we have brand name companies that we partner with to develop our solution. Going forward, we'll probably have to add a couple of others to meet different parts of the segment. And so we're going to be working with our partners to do that. But we think that there's also an open source portion that some customers won't need the level of capabilities of the companies that we just mentioned, and will want to look at something more economical in the open source fashion. So I would say that service providers are going to deliver what customers want, and so whether that's a closed ecosystem or an open, I think that will determine what service providers do. I would say that the challenges with cloud and adoption have to do with education and really understanding there are no two clouds that are alike. And so with the different operators, there's different features and functionality that's different between Verizon and other companies. Therefore, it's really up to the end user to do their homework, do their investigation. What am I looking for when I'm rationalizing my application set and I want to move to the cloud or a service provider? What's the best way for me to do that, and what's the best cloud provider? You know, lots of the analysts are working with our customers now to determine that. And so once you have, as a customer, what you want from a cloud provider, then a cloud provider will actually meet those needs or not, and then that will basically help you make your decision. We've been managing customer systems for 14 years. What we're offering today in the cloud is no different than what we've been doing for 14 years. So we've offered dedicated equipment or shared equipment The data sits in a data center. A customer get access to a Windows or Linux machine. They can audit the data. It sits in a data center. And our cloud offering is no different. Customers can provision Windows and Linux systems. The data sits in the data center. We are PCI compliant in our cloud offering. We are SAS 70 Type 2 audited. We are ISO 27000 certified in the data center. And so we're going to continue to get these certifications and audits. So I would say that security is important, and it will continue to be important, but application security, what level of access, that's also important. And quite frankly, that's why Verizon a few years ago went out and purchased CyberTrust. And so we're one of the world's leading security companies. And so when you can couple the CyberTrust offering with the cloud offering, we can actually help customers with their applications to secure them in the cloud. We're seeing different take-up models in different regions, depending upon the type of customer. In Asia, for example, it seems that everyone is In Asia, for example, there's lots of adoption happening. The market's growing, companies are growing, so that's really a growth type of a market. So how can I accelerate the growth is Asia. In the US and in Europe, it's I'm growing a little bit, or I have an application that is end of life and I need to make a choice about that application. Am I going to spend money to build it internal, or am I going to do something and put it in a cloud provider's type of a space? So really we're seeing the adoption across the globe. The reasons for the adoption may differ, but we are seeing the adoption.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.